so that you can see it later on. Okay, let me share the screen again. Just a minute. Okay. So classification of plants. Do you know how many plant species are there in the world? There are about 4 lakhs of different species of plants in the world. You can see here 3,91,000 species of vascular plants, higher plants. So non-vascular plants are not included in this list. And of these species, 3,69,000 species, that is equal to 94% of the total vascular plants, there are flowering plants, higher plants. These are species of plants, plant species, not the total number of plants. For example, mango, Mangifera indica, is one species. So like that, so you can imagine how many mango plants are there in the world. So these are 3,69,000 species of flowering plants are there in the world. And this is according to the report given by Royal Botanic Garden, which is situated in the Kew of United Kingdom in the year 2006. So if we want to study such a huge number of plants, then it becomes very difficult to study all of those plants. So it becomes necessary to arrange them into smaller groups on the basis of certain their similarities, affinities, or differences, distinctions between them, similarities and differences. On the basis of these characters, we can arrange them into different groups, and this act is called as classifications. So Theophrastus was the first scientist. He is regarded as the father of botany, who classified for the first time all the plants of the world into groups like herbs, shrubs, and trees on the basis of certain characters. Similarly, there was one scientist called as Linnaeus who classified plants on the basis of their sexual characters, on the basis of number of stamens in the flower, into different groups like monandry, if a single stamen is present, diandry, triandry, tetrandry, second, I mean 2 stamens, 3 stamens, 4 stamens, respectively, like that. So such a type of classifications were proposed by different scientists from time to time to give the classification of plant kingdom. So these type of classifications, which consider very few characters, which are easily observable characters, and such a system of classifications are called as artificial system, because there is artificial similarities between these plants. The plants which are grouped together, they are not naturally similar, but they are artificially similar because the characters are artificial. Only few characters are chosen for classifying them. Then later on, some other systems of classification known as natural systems of classifications, which consider some natural characters, some natural affinities between different groups of plants. For example, taking into consideration many of the characters and classifying plants together on the basis of similarities and differences. This type of classification is called as natural system or natural character, natural system of classification, because here the concept of descent through common ancestor is considered, and many characters are considered for classifying the plants. Then there is one more system called as phylogenetic system of classification. This system of classification is in addition to natural system of classification based on the concept of evolution. The concept of evolution, which was proposed by scientist Charles Darwin in the year 1859 in his book called as Origin of Species. Then after understanding this concept of evolution, the concept of classifying plants was shifted onto their evolutionary line. Then classification of plants was done on the basis of evolution, taking into consideration the concept of evolution as to which plants are primitive plants, which groups of plants are advanced plants on the basis of their characters, primitive characters, advanced characters, on the basis of their past history, on the basis of their evolutionary history. The classification was done, and one such a system of classification based on the concept of evolution, which is also called as evolutionary system of classification or phylogenetic system of classification, was proposed by scientists. You can see here, That scientist is Eichler, and his system of classification is called as Eichler's system of classification, proposed by scientist Eichler in the year 1886, taking into consideration the concept of evolution for classification of the entire plant kingdom, the whole plant kingdom. Just a minute. Just a minute.